Welcome back. This is Mr. Hassan's Maths channel, and I'm answering this question from the Pure Mathematics P3 International A-Level Edexcel textbook. And this question is from chapter 6. Which is about differentiation, and this question is regarding the quotient rule. It's question number 1, part D from exercise 6E. One of the viewers on the channel has requested that I answer this question, so I'm going to do so. So it tells us to differentiate with respect to x this fraction 3x squared over 2x minus 1 squared. Okay, so here we're going to use the quotient rule because we have a quotient of two completely separate functions, like you have u over v, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to call the numerator u. It always has to be the numerator u, which is 3x squared. And the denominator, we're going to call it v. So 2x minus 1 squared, we're going to call it v. Now, when you want to differentiate something in using the quotient rule, so we're going to differentiate this with respect to x, we use the formula, okay, basically v u dash minus u v dash over v squared. Okay, that's how you differentiate. That's how you're going to find the differential. Now, so what we need to do is we need to find what u dash is, which is the differential of u, which gives us 6x. Okay, that's pretty simple. And we'll have to also differentiate v. Now here we got to use the chain rule because you have a function within a function. So we're going to multiply by the power. I mean, this is something in the form of something raised to a power. So we multiply by the power, so you have 2 times, then 2x minus 1. Take 1 from the power, and then multiply by the differential of what's inside the function, which is the differential of 2x minus 1 is 2. So we multiply by 2, and that will give us v dash of x, which we can then say is equal to 4 times 2x minus 1. All right, so here we have u dash, and here we have v dash. U dash and v dash, v and u. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to apply the quotient rule to this, okay, which is basically, and as I said, I don't like to just memorize the formula. What I always do is it's just taking v times u dash. So I lay it out in this way, u first and then v, underneath u dash, underneath v dash. Then I go always from the top right down. So this is the first step, yeah, and in the quotient rule, the order actually matters because you're going to be subtracting, okay? So the order will change the answer if you do it the other way around. Whereas the product rule, it doesn't matter which order you do it, but I always stick to the same order just so that I'm consistent when I'm doing quotient rule and product rule. I don't get mixed up then. So v times u dash, so that's 6x times 2x minus 1 squared, minus u times v dash, so that's going to be 3x squared times 4, that's 12x squared times 2x minus 1, 12x squared times 2x minus 1 over v squared. So it's going to be 2x minus 1 squared and then squared again. So it's like 2x minus 1 squared and then all of that squared again. Right, so that should give us our answer, which of course we have to simplify and manipulate to give us the answer as it's in the book, the answer in the back of the book. Normally the question like this would say, express your answer in a particular form, and then you would have to simplify it to that form. So here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to look at the numerator, and I can see that there is a common factor in the numerator, and this is the easiest way to deal with this question instead of expanding. I mean, you could expand the brackets and then simplify. That would probably work, but that's going to make life more difficult. The easiest thing to do when you've got a situation like this, you see the bracket is 2x minus 1 squared, and this bracket is 2x minus 1, so that's a common factor. Also, 6 is a common factor, and x. So you have 6x times 2x minus 1. That's a common factor in this first and the second term. So then I can think to myself, what do I have to multiply this by to end up with this term? Well, that's just 2x minus 1. If I multiply this with this, I'm going to end up with that. You can think of that as in a bracket. Okay, 6x times 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1 will give us exactly this. And then I got my minus sign. Then what do I have to multiply this by to give me that? Well, I already have the 2x minus 1, but the 6 has to become a 12, so it has to be multiplied by 2. And the x has to become x squared, so it has to be multiplied by x. And there we have the factorized version of that. And this, in the denominator, you raise a power to another power, you multiply the powers. So it's 2x minus 1 to the power of 4. Now what happens here is this 2x minus 2x becomes 0. So we're left with minus 6x over 2x minus 1 divided by 2x minus 1 to the power of 4. And you can see there's a common factor here of 2x minus 1. So this is going to give us negative 6x over 2x minus 1 to the power of 4. And there's our answer. Okay, there's the answer to this question, because one of the 2x minus 1's cancel out. So to the power of 3, not 4. Because that cancelled with this. You see this cancel with this, leaving you with 2x minus 1 to the power of 3. Okay, so that became minus 6x over 2x minus 1 to the power of 3. And there's the answer. So a lot of students are fine with this up to this stage, but they don't know how to go from there to what the answer says in the back of the book. All right, and you should know how to manipulate this. This is one of the things with the product and quotient rule. Half of the marks of the questions are normally with dealing with manipulating the answer to give you what the form that is required. All right, so that's what is important in this question, for you to know how to do this algebraic manipulation, and it's all to do with factorizing out, and sometimes you can factorize a whole bracket out here. So 2x minus 1 is a common factor in these two, so is 6x, and then you can factorize that. So that might need some practice, but that concludes question number 1, part D, from this exercise 6E, Pure Mathematics P3 International A-Level textbook. Other questions from this particular chapter, from this particular chapter, chapter 6 of P3, can be found in the playlist that will appear over here. Other questions in general from differentiation of P3 can be found in the playlist over here. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking on this link, and the video that will show over here will show you how to use my channel in an efficient manner. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.